So today we're reviewing
The Curse of
La Llorona.
So basically, The Curse of La Llorona is about a mom who drowns her kids and then is haunting the forest of Mexico.
So in the folklore, it's the story of La Llorona. You see that in the first. That's how the movie opens up.
First 2 seconds.
Yeah, you see like kind of the backstory. Then it cuts to the title.
Jake, what did you think about the this movie?
You know, going into it, I was actually expecting it to be really bad because I mean, from what I had heard from people, it had like a 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. Some of the reviewers that I respect and listen to were not too pleased with it. So I was like, okay, this might be kind of a... And I was also going to take it off because I had thought that this movie was directed by James Wan, which I was fooled, and it wasn't. So going in, I had really low expectations. But actually walking out, I was pleasantly surprised, and I really enjoyed this film.
So, Megan, what did you think about La Llorona?
I think it was pretty good. I mean, I don't know. I'm not too hard on movies. I'm not a big critic. I think it was scary, and some parts made me jump, and other parts made me laugh. So I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but it was pretty good.
Yeah, because my initial thoughts...
Well, that's true.
My initial thoughts are, I thought this movie was really good, and yeah, there were scary moments, and then there was extremely funny moments where I was like laughing, crying, probably not in a good way.
It had to be intended.
There's no way. But I thought this movie was really good. There's really scary scenes, and there's also really funny scenes, and some were intended, some weren't.
Yeah.
But yeah, I walked out of this theater very happy. This is after we filmed all these videos. I just wanted to point out something in the movie review. There are some decisions, because I want to put in every part of this movie that I remembered. There are some decisions made by characters in this movie that are really, really stupid. We talk about the spoilers, but I just wanted to put this in here that there are some extremely dumb decisions made by characters that I had to point out. Like, there are the worst decisions you've ever seen. Like, a face palm that bad. And I had to point it out because you guys are going to spend your money. So if you really do listen to us and you make your decision based on that, then I want you guys to know that there are some extremely dumb decisions. And we didn't point that out, but we should have.
Yeah. It's some really... So once again, like, it's what you hear from horror films. Like, it's not as much as you would usually see. Like, obviously... In horror films, there's going to be a lot of dumb character moves, and usually it's the kids. And so when it's the kids, you can kind of believe it a little bit, or you can let it slide a little bit more. But yeah, there are some really dumb moves, and I guess you wanted to also talk about the character we liked at the end. This guy did a great performance, and we had a great role in this movie. He's one of my favorite. He's my favorite character in this film.
Oh, easily. I still think the Ed and Lorraine Warren combo, like those characters are better, but this guy is close. And now let's continue with the review.
So, for me, really the only negative I could say is that maybe it was a little predictable in certain spots. I mean, once again, I can't blame the movie for the trailer, like what I saw in the trailer, because there were certain parts I saw coming. And I feel like there was a lot of just, like, it's really quiet, really predictable, like I've heard a lot of people say, like, just horror tropey things, which, I mean, I'm not going to go in there. I'm expecting that stuff in a horror movie. It's a horror movie for a reason, but... You just need to limit the jump scares and try to mix in more like not even jump scares, but like scary scenes without like without the loud noise. Which there's a lot of movies that do that great, like Conjuring, like the Conjurings of the world, Annabelle Creation. There's a reason why those movies do so well. I just saw something by the door.
One negative with the film is that it kind of just starts going all over the place, like. A specific
towards the end.
A specific plan, like it's just a lot of things start happening that don't make much sense, and it gets a little way out there with like they're just doing a different thing to try to solve something. But that's a minor negative. But honestly, I'd rather get into the positives because there's a lot of positives with this.
Yeah, I really had no negatives. The acting was good all around. Do you think there was any bad performances? Because I mean, so once again, with horror movies, with horror films, you're gonna have kid acting, and you thought the kids are good?
Oh yeah.
You think the adults did good?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna get into our positives. So without spoiling, what about the scary factor? Let's talk about La Llorona. Let's talk about La Llorona. What did you think about the main bad guy in this movie?
At first, I thought La Llorona was a little not as scary as I was hoping. I thought her design was too like pretty looking almost. Like I didn't see the scare factor a little bit in a couple of spots, but then as you saw her more,
she was supposed to portray beauty.
When that she is like the most beautiful person in Mexico.
Yes,
but
that's
then
it, yeah.
when she's a demon, though, she needs to be like I said. At first, I thought she didn't look as scary as I was hoping. Like the shot in the car, as you saw in the trailer. But then as you got to see her more often, I thought she did look really scary, especially towards the end of the film.
Wait, I disagree. I think honestly that every time she's supposed to look scary, I think she looks scary. Like even the first second of this movie, like the very first time you see her, she looks scary, and she's not even a flipping demon or anything at the time of this.
Yeah.
I think there's basically every shot is creepy with her. Even walking around with the dress is really creepy.
I just think when you're comparing it to like the nun, like you never were like, oh, the nun looked beautiful in that shot.
I think it's kind of creepy though with certain shots where you can't even see her face. That actually makes it more scary.
No, I'm not saying she wasn't scary. I'm just saying towards the end.
That's what we're talking about.
I thought that. I'm just saying some of the scenes she didn't look as scary as I was hoping. Like I just said, like whenever you saw the nun, you're not like, what a gorgeous shot of the nun walking down the hallway.
Well, no, but I didn't think that when she's on the ground, she goes and her
No,
neck
that
cracks
was
looking up that's a really creepy.
That was
scene.
a good one. I'm not saying she looked pretty in that shot. I'm not saying she looked pretty. I'm just saying like. I don't know.
I understand. You're saying she's not as scary as she could be, but I thought she was scary.
But a lot of scenes she was. There's just a couple scenes I thought where it wasn't as scary as I was hoping. But I would say, 85% of the scenes of her were great. Megan?
I thought she was pretty scary the whole entire movie.
A big surprise I think we all agreed on was going to this film. I was hoping it would be a scary movie, a great horror film, and there's a lot of great horror scenes and moments in this film. But really, what surprised us all was the humor. It was a really, really funny film. There's a lot of great jokes and scenes that we were laughing out loud for.
I don't know if it was supposed to be funny,
but the humor worked. But it wasn't like stupid. Like there wasn't like there were scenes that were funny, but it worked with the film towards the end. Like you don't want it to be too dreary or. And then you like I was saying.
I just
well. No, but there were some funny scenes. And I liked the characters. I cared about the family. I cared about the characters on screen. That's a big part about movies. If you don't like the characters, then you really can't enjoy the film. The humor, some of the horror scenes, a lot of these shots, the cinematography is great. It wasn't James Wan, but you can tell James Wan helped a little bit because some of the shots were just like James Wan would do. And this new director, Michael Chaves, it's his first feature debut. And I thought he did a pretty good job for his first film. It was pretty good. Not many...
Definitely.
Like, for me, I don't have many major negatives except for some, like, things I wish they would have done differently. So that's kind of nitpicking. So, yeah, I definitely enjoyed this film.
Yeah, definitely, because I respect people that make scary movies, because it's very difficult to make one. We've been trying to make scary movies all of our lives, and we've always failed. But I definitely think that this movie is above The Nun, where I've ranked it. So it has scary scenes, has scary environment. Like, there's some scenes where it's scary without a jump scare, which is what makes a good movie, good scary movie. And yeah, there's definitely funny scenes, some intended, some not.
So for me, this movie, I think is most of the movie when I was watching it, I was thinking like, unfortunately, this might be a 7, possibly a 6, if they don't finish this strong. But then I'd say the last 20 minutes really pushed it over the top for me, and I really enjoyed it. And I think it bumped it all the way up to, I think this is a solid 8 out of 10.
So, Megan, what do you give this movie?
I think this movie had a bunch of unexpected factors that were added into it, and I think a lot of people underestimated this movie because they're like, oh, it's not that good, it's not going to be good, but it did turn out to be.
The La Llorona out there?
But yeah, I definitely think that this movie was better than what I thought it would be, so I would give it a good 8 out of 10. This one scene does push it over to an 8.5.
Hopefully I didn't just have popcorn in my teeth for this whole review. So, walking out of this movie, I was extremely happy. There were scenes that, made me laugh and probably weren't supposed to. There's some great scary scenes. I think there's some really scary scenes, and, La Llorona is definitely scary. I like how it's, actually based off of kind of a real story and, in Mexico. It's, kind of creepy like that. But yeah, there's definitely some great scenes. I think it's above The Nun. It's not close to the Conjuring movies, but I have to give this a solid 8 out of 10. I think this is a solid movie. Wait, Marley, what did you give it? She gives it a 9 out of 10. It's not like a Conjuring or Insidious, but I think it's a solid movie.
I think it's important to note, there's a lot of bad horror films that come out.
Yeah.
So for us to watch this movie, this is like way above average horror film. That's what we have to really focus on. Like, yeah, we had some problems with it. It wasn't like up to the level of the Conjurings of the world or the Annabelle Creations or the Insidiouses, because those are the top tier like horror films. So, but yeah, so that was our non-spoiler review of The Curse of La Llorona. I gave it an 8 out of 10. Megan gave it an 8.5 out of 10, and Kenny gave it an 8 out of 10. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the spoilers discussion video. So thanks for watching, guys, and we'll see you guys in the spoilers discussion. Bye, guys.